What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Epic Handshake Podcast, the podcast about epic people that deserve an epic handshake. I'm your host, Adon Banda. You can find this podcast on Instagram at the Epic Handshake Pod, as well as every streaming platform, every place you can find a podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, etc. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube, where we have not only the audio, but the video as well. We have Chris and Frank from Bread Percent. I actually just technically met both of you, like really today, right?
Yeah, more of an official.
Cool. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves really quick?
So I'm Frank, go by Frankie or Frank, either one. I'm Dimpled Primer on Instagram. Part of Bread Percent, as he said. Just a guy who likes to shoot.
Yeah, where are you from?
So originally from New York. Moved out to Utah when I was 18. Not New York City. Just north of there, about 30, maybe 40 minutes north of Manhattan. Place called Haverstraw, close to Nyack. Little nowhere place. Cool.
But when you say New York, though, people always assume New York City.
Yeah, and if people know where I grew up, they know it's not the right side of the tracks. I grew up in a pretty rough place.
Sure.
So,
which is fine. Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I'm Chris. I'm Robot Snakes on Instagram. I also run the Bread Percent page. Do all creative things on Bread Percent. I'm very nervous right now.
It's okay to be nervous because podcasts are weird. Because especially like with this video element too. If you're not watching on YouTube, you can't really see how nervous he is, anyways. So. Right. Anyway, so you're from Utah, right?
Yeah.
Born and raised.
Yep. Yeah. Grew up in Sandy. Lived all over South Jordan, downtown. Now residing here in an undisclosed location.
In a bunker.
Yeah.
Somewhere deep in the jungle.
Yeah, it's impossible to find.
You're really cool about the head bag thing, like wearing a head bag on the way in.
Oh yeah.
Cool
No. Handcuffs. Shackles, the whole. I'm actually shackled to the floor right now.
You're supposed to speak closer to the mic, Frank.
You're okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you're okay. I'll fix that later.
Sorry about him.
No, jeez. Can't even podcast.
Amateurs.
Sorry. So let's kind of jump into Bread Percent because that's you guys founded that brand. What is it? What does it mean? How, all that stuff.
Yeah. So Bread Percent is it's turned into kind of a lifestyle brand, but it started out just with a group of us. We all met up at the Capitol for a Second Amendment rally. It was armed. Most of us were armed, and we had been chatting on Instagram, planning on meeting there. And from there, we started going to the range a lot, training together. It just really kind of took off from us just always saying stuff about getting bread, talking about going to the range and getting bread, turned into the emojis. Our logo was the emojis for a while, and now it's just turned into a lifestyle brand where we try to focus on community, togetherness, gear, being informed about the culture and everything like that. No,
that's great. And I see you guys use a lot of humor on
it's very, very
satirical. Is it mostly you?
Yeah.
But I mean,
we definitely all get in there. With him running the page, it's definitely more him, especially how we might edit some videos, throwing some Alexandre at the end, or
Eric Andre.
Oh yeah, sorry, Eric Andre at the end, and then Biden falling down some stairs, saying something really stupid. But it being a lifestyle brand has really taken off. Like, people have seen us shooting, and of course we're not instructors. We don't pretend to be these expert shooters who know everything. We're just guys who want to get out there and train and inspire other people to do the same thing. And it seems to have worked, which is the whole point. Just community kind of helping.
I've noticed your guys' following is pretty dedicated. They seem pretty interactive with everything you guys post.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah, it's really fun to engage with everybody. We have a lot of people that buy stickers from all over the US, and it's fun because they'll post on their stories of them getting together and training. They'll have pictures of bread on all of their gear at range days, so it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that is cool to see. So I don't know if I think we can see it right here in the background there, but you have I think all of your stickers and stuff, right?
Yeah, my wife was gonna throw that frame away, so I decided to just like make a mural and fill it up with all of the stickers that I've designed and had made.
You should get a shot of that later for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah, I'll drop some images of their products. Breadpercent.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, breadpercent.com. Yeah, go check it out.
Crazy enough, that one wasn't taken.
Right.
How
Really?
weird. Yeah.
Like you didn't have to do an underscore or a hyphen
No,
or
how weird.
like a percent sign. I don't think it would have even let you do that, would it?
I don't know.
Like a percentage symbol?
I'm not sure if you can do that in the URL.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Maybe not. Yeah, so as far as like other background pieces of what you guys do as far as social media, so you do video, right? Like I've seen you do other things on your personal page.
Yeah, so I'm full-time self-employed. I do videography, I do illustrator work, graphic design, I run Instagram accounts. So yeah, I do video on the side.
That's cool. Yeah. So you have what's your setup?
My setup is a first gen A7S.
Ooh,
I typically run just a 50 millimeter 1.8 on a DJI stabilizer.
Nice. A Ronin or?
It's a Ronin SC. Yeah, it's a really light camera. So
I like it. Yeah.
That's my rig. It's great.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I love the video work you do. Like as far as like the vehicles because you're part of a what is it like a what do they call it, like a shop that.
Oh yeah, Yucky Production.
Yucky Production.
Yeah, so right. I run Yucky Production's Instagram and create promotional content for him. His name is Bobby, but yeah, check them out at Yucky Production on Instagram. But they do vehicle wraps, full custom printed color changes, and window tinting and everything like that.
That's cool. Seems like a solid company.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah. So, really quick, what do you guys do for a living? I guess that's.
So
we talked about this already.
I've got the sexier of the two jobs. I sell insurance.
Yeah, well, you said what you did for a living, but this is more directed at Frank at this point.
Yeah,
so, sorry.
So I work in my father-in-law's office. I don't want to say where. I don't want to.
That's okay. You don't have to get into specifics.
Like that. But I just do home and auto insurance.
Yeah.
I'm in school for digital marketing.
That's cool.
So
yeah, I think a lot of the times I bring people onto this podcast because I see what they do aside from their busy day-to-day life. You know, like when you guys start a movement, it's like Bread%. I consider it a movement of sorts, you know, and sure. I think that's really admirable because you have like a cool brand, but you have day jobs. I mean, I have a freaking day job too, and I'm doing this on the side, and so like I don't know, I can commiserate quite a bit, you know. And so as far as Bread% is concerned, I mean, where do you guys hope to go with it as far as a brand?
That's actually a good question.
You know, like what are your goals with the brand?
Oh, in the future, I think it would be really fun to get more big events arranged to kind of, you know, further pursue the main goal, which is kind of getting everybody united. Yeah. So in the future, I think it would be awesome to have, you know, big range events. Like what's that big Ohio Range Day?
That's happening next week, I think.
Have stuff like that we kind of do. It would be very fun. I like to travel. I think it'd be very fun to go around the country and get people together and do big range days. Yeah.
You know, in addition to, did you guys go to Utah this past year? Or
No, we didn't.
It's pretty cool. I'd love to do something like that, you know, just at a different time of the year. Because I know they usually have that in like July. Yeah. But have that more in like, I don't know.
The fall.
The fall would honestly be perfect. I mean, there's no better time to shoot outside than the 2 weeks that Utah has fall.
Early spring, right? Fall. So,
yeah, and I mean, it's definitely something we've talked about, especially after coming back from Arizona for the Average Joe's shoot that we went out. Average Joe's Across America thing that we did. That was, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people that we've only ever spoken to online. Got together, got to meet some really, really good shooters. And so since then we've kind of like, man, like we could do that. And not only that, people have been asking us to say, you know, to host something like that. People from around here, people from, you know, neighboring states. They said, hey, like I'll drive out. If you guys are hosting a range day, like let me know. I'll be planning. I'll come out and I'll shoot with you guys.
How does Average Joe's do it? Do they have like, you pay your entry and then what's included with it? I haven't really looked into this.
So I don't think the entry was actually paid to them. I think it was paid to the guys hosting. DJ Sailor and Full Metal Jello on Instagram.
That's who we paid to be there, because it was by invitation. So what they offered, there were two people there. There was Jim
Elmtree on Instagram.
Is his last name Elm?
I'm not sure.
But
the dude is fast. I do know that.
He's a very good shooter. Elmtree Training.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a course of fire. It was more of like a competition style of shooting that they were teaching.
Sure. Yeah.
Fast pistol shooting, no rifle stuff. And then the Average Joe's guys had a couple of different courses of fire, a couple of different drills that they had us run, which you can pretty much see everything that they have you do on YouTube if you go and watch one of their videos. And then they had some competitions that was really fun. Average Joe's had a sponsor, AccuFire. They gave away an optic.
Oh, that's cool.
I was fortunate enough to win. I went up against the engineer shooter, Connor, on Instagram.
Another good shooter.
Another
For
really
sure,
good
that
shooter.
dude can shoot.
Yeah, barely scraped past him and won an LPVO from them. And then Frank actually won the other prize with Elmtree Training. He won a, was it a holster?
Yes, I won a holster, and I was like, man, I've got plenty of holsters already, so I made it for my wife's 43X.
Oh, cool.
But of course, you won't see that in the video. You'll watch me absolutely eat crap when I'm marking a reload into a drill. Terrible. I was like so nervous. Like, spotlight right on.
Was this video on their channel or?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
Channel.
I think I saw that.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But of course, you won't see me when I'm actually, killing it.
I don't think that they filmed your competition run, right, for the contest.
I don't think so.
I know they filmed the shoot off between me and Connor. But
Yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, so we went down there. We represented for sure.
No, that's cool.
It was fun. It was
Pretty
cool.
good. It was a good time.
Being down there, it was like a lot of people already really knew about bread percent. A lot of people already had bread percent, like stickers and shirts, and then the Average Joe's guys, I guess they got off the plane and they were telling us like people were
wearing our stuff.
Had stickers of bread and shirts with bread everywhere, and they're like, "What's going on?" And so it's really cool to meet
Dude, that's
them.
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's a logo that stands out, and so I don't blame them.
Like people are like, "What in the heck do you have on your stock or your pistol brace?"
What is it? What bread percent? What does that mean? Are you a threeper? What is it? Like, I had somebody ask me that.
Yeah, we get that a lot. Way too often.
Let's dispel some of the misconceptions. So obviously, people might know what a threeper is, but it has no association with that. I mean, does it? I mean, what is it? I mean, I get those questions a lot.
But there's a little.
It's there. I mean, the only association is that it's kind of like a satirical play on the 3%ers.
Yep. Cool.
I had a guy at the gym the other day. He noticed me and Alex, Offhand Dominant, another bread percent guy. We both had bread percent shirts, and he was like, "Hey, what's that logo? Is that 3%ers?" Like, I'm a really big fan. And we were like, "No," and I openly was like, "We actually poke a lot of fun at them." He was like, "Oh, why is that?" And I just kind of said, like, they don't really have any
standards.
They don't really have a criteria.
Nope.
They're just kind of like, if you have a gun, I don't even think you have to have a gun to consider yourself.
No.
I don't know. I have no idea.
No, you just have to be pro Second Amendment and one other thing.
Yeah, we prefer a little bit more of an informed and responsible
That's
audience.
good.
That's the thing is, like you being a gun owner, you have a responsibility. You should be training. Like, this is a tool that you do need skills to use effectively. And so, I mean, in a situation where, you do need to use that firearm, there are a lot of people who do not have, the training that, a lot of people say you need to survive, and they end up coming out on top. They end up doing, they survive. But, I mean, we definitely believe that you should be respecting that tool and putting the time in to be effective with it,
to be proficient.
Something we definitely believe in. And we don't, one thing we'll talk about is all the time is we don't care what gear you have, can you shoot?
Yeah,
that's it.
We've seen a lot of guys with Streamlight weapon lights on their rifles outrun dudes that have mod lights.
Yep.
So
often
it really doesn't matter. It's
the best.
You can shoot.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that. I think this is a topic we wanted to kind of touch on too. Is like. And in the gun industry, we eat our own. We criticize so much about oh, he's running this light that they were in such a scandal and they shouldn't be running that light. We shouldn't support them. But Like, who cares? You know, like
they showed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's not kick them out.
Yeah. I don't know, but like we've seen that. I mean, especially here in Utah. I mean, with companies here in Utah, like I don't know if any of this there's beef between like suppressor companies here, maybe in the past, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But what have you guys seen as far as like examples of gun industry imploding in on itself, like just people getting upset at each other for nothing?
Well, in more recent events, obviously all of the weapon light company beef is just preposterous to me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff with like, you know, Q suppressors poking fun at everybody. Q's always talking badly about. I mean, I shouldn't say Q, but I guess it is Q, right? Kevin Brittingham.
It's really just Kevin.
Yeah, he's always poking jabs at like Dead Air. We're a big fan of Dead Air. So those are the two that probably stick out to me, is all the, because you know we really like T-Rex Arms. We're a big fan of their standards and of them as a company, and so it kind of sucked to see Mod Light come out and be like, hey, we're done with you guys over something that seemed to be like conjecture.
Yeah.
Just like a YouTube video, right? That's what prompted it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it seems like it's over and done with. But yeah, like we're talking about recent, like it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like, and obviously, a lot of us run Mod Lights. We still love their things. We love their products, but our opinion is that was kind of whack. Like,
yeah.
It was very abrupt, very sudden. I was really disappointed in that.
For sure.
Yeah. Kind of.
And you know they had to sell off a lot of inventory too, right?
Yeah. At least that's what we heard. We don't
I
know
mean,
them
discounted all. I mean, they even took a hit on it.
They sold it at their cost, I think, is what Lucas posted, and I think they said that they sold approximately $100,000 worth of inventory.
Jeez.
And I mean, say what you will about Lucas and all of them. Again, we don't know them. They don't know who we are. But I mean, it seems like they have a lot of integrity, and they're like, "Hey, you want to be done with us? Okay, like we'll respect that. You know, like let's just end it."
Yeah, and I've touched on this subject a lot with people, but you know, we see there's a lot of dudes out there like, what's his name, Kennedy, and what's his name,
Tim Kennedy.
Tim Kennedy, and then like, dude, people like that.
Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep touching on this subject because it makes me mad every time I think about it. Like they just try to dictate like who gets to exercise Second Amendment rights, and
Dakota
Myers. Yep. What sounds like you guys have some thoughts on
we
those.
love them.
I love Dakota Meyer Wiener, dude.
Yeah.
I love that dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Hold his hand.
So growing up in a place where the bad guys and the cops had guns, and I have criminals in my family for sure. I won't go too deep into that, but I mean, there have been times where I stumble across a gun that was hidden in our backyard or something. And I'm like, I know who this is. And I mean, it sucked to know that as someone who's just trying to do the right thing, I'm stuck in the middle of that.
Yep.
I have to, you know, one of my family members who was definitely involved in gang violence and stuff like that, and I saw a lot of that happen to, you know, bring some sort of beef home, like some other gang member, which this has happened, comes to our house looking for trouble. Me having nothing to do with that as a younger kid, you know, like kid in like middle school, maybe just, you know, like a freshman in high school. I got nothing to do with it, but they know who I am because of my brother. I'm stuck in the middle. So they're at my house, and what do? I got to call the cops and wait for what? By the time they get there, whatever they want to do is already done. Now, thankfully, I never found myself in a life or death situation that I knew of. You know, maybe there was something going on behind the scenes that I didn't know about, but
sure.
I mean, it sucked. I mean, there were times where I was like, what do I do? You know, I got to do something. These guys are right outside our house. I mean, it's me, my brother, and a couple of his buddies, and then thankfully, you know, they would get handled and they leave. But I never knew how it was really going to end. And so coming from that, I know there's really not time to wait for a cop to show up. It's on you. You gotta solve it. And it's scary. Like it is scary. But you got a responsibility.
Yep. And so you get these guys, you know, super seasoned vets telling you can't own a firearm, you know, or
because I never served.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't have body armor because you didn't serve or you didn't get a certain award or
right.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
It's touchy. It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know who Dakota Meyer was.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I was like, who?
Yeah. So
You're nobody to me.
Most of the big Army vets that have not Army, I should say, military vets that have a following on Instagram. I want to say most gun enthusiasts that are kind of into our brand, they don't really know much about those dudes. So anyways, yeah, when I saw it, I kind of researched him. He's didn't he get like a Purple Heart?
Yeah, I mean, I think the work he's done should be respected.
Or a medal, he's a Medal of Honor recipient. That's what it is.
He's done some great things. I don't know everything, but I mean, I did a little bit of research, saw what you saw. He's done great things. I think that should be respected.
Yeah, so certainly probably a brave man. Probably saw a lot of crazy stuff, but he was out defending our country. He was out defending our rights, and for him to come back and say, if you're not involved in the military or involved in the things that myself or Tim Kennedy were doing when we were involved in the military,
down our lives for
then like
stupid shit like that.
For you to be wearing a plate carrier just means that like you're a LARPer, you are playing dress up, you are confused, you think it's Halloween, and to me it's like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, you went over there to defend our rights. You went over there to defend the right of everybody over here to keep and bear arms, and you're trying to make a criteria for who should be able to do so. So anyways, I didn't know who he was. I just saw this sweaty dude in his fucking garage ranting on a video, and that blew up. We actually made a drill about that. The you didn't serve drill. We dedicated it to him, and just encouraged civilians to run it in kit. We all ran
you
it in
have
plate
to
carriers.
run it in a plate carrier,
absolutely full kit. So anyways, we've never gone across seas, we've never fought in wars. But that whole situation was whack for sure.
I'm not a huge fan of I've been meaning to bring this up, but I've been really wanting to pick what's his name. I'm really bad with names, if you can't tell.
I am too.
Like
every time I will screw someone's name up.
Fieldcraft Survival. Mike Glover. I want to pick his brain because he's friends with all these guys.
Yeah, he's also friends with from what I understand, he's cool with like Neil at Ready Gunner.
Oh yeah.
And Neil at Ready Gunner doesn't have
no qualms,
a negative opinion about us, anybody. When I say us, I mean like
collective
any
us.
American citizen running kit, owning guns, running around with AR-15s and nods and suppressors. I mean, he sells them. Like, I don't think he has any issue with people owning that stuff. So I mean, I'm sure. It's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, because I think Tim Kennedy is one of his closer friends, and he mentioned something, I can't remember where it was, but he mentioned that Tim Kennedy, I saw a video of Mike Glover and Tim Kennedy talking about Tim Kennedy's interview with Lance Armstrong, where he's like, "Oh, if you're under 18, you shouldn't own a rifle.
Oh my
like, you shouldn't be able to own a rifle." Or
we've got a snippet of that in one of our videos.
Yeah. You really should be checking out these guys' content if you haven't already, because it's pretty sweet.
And then I think he says, I think gun control is a massive
solution. Yeah.
Oh, and then Lance is like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that."
And he's like, "I'm so glad that you're saying that."
Freaking...
I think he's made some statements, kind of trying to refine his statements that he made. But to me, it's like, damn, like you really did say that.
I have heard him. I've read DMs of him saying, "Oh, that was years ago. You got to let it go." It's like, well, you should talk about it. You should come correct. You should talk to everybody and say, "Hey."
So like, because
this is what I think now.
Like, I am redacting what I said.
I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Was he saying like, because it was in the past, I don't mean it anymore?
Yeah, kind of like Joe Biden when he was asked about that Afghan falling.
Yeah, he's like, that was like 4 days ago.
It was 2 days ago, but it was actually, he's like, it was 4 or 5 days ago.
It was like 4 or 5 days ago, man.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I don't even know. Why would I even bring that up? It was never relevant. Sorry,
exactly.
No, you should probably talk about it, especially now since Tim Kennedy is an instructor, grandmaster, wizard, or whatever it is that he can't be beat with pistols. missiles.
We've got a homie that hit him up because he was at the farm.
Oh yeah,
doing a course of fire. I think he was training or something.
Not too long ago, right?
And he was like, "Hey, come train with me." And we've got a buddy who is under what was he?
He's like what? Like he's like 19 years old or something.
I think he's like 19, so not
kid.
21. And he like replied to Tim Kennedy, and he was like, I would come, but I'm not 21, so I can't own an AR-15, or I shouldn't own an AR-15.
Yeah, you don't support the fact that I own one.
And Tim Kennedy was like, "Oh, you should really stop acting like a 16-year-old girl or something like that."
What is it with him and age?
Like, dang, dude, that's a great response.
I have no idea.
Got him good.
Zinger.
Zinger.
The kid never recovered.
Way to go.
From that comeback.
No, he's still on the floor right now.
He's still, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I hate that so much. And like, I don't know. Dude, I'm kind of in your situation where I came from a Spanish-speaking neighborhood. And you know, I wasn't. Sometimes you'd hear gunshots at night. You know, I'm from a rough part of Phoenix, and so I've seen that stuff, and it's not fun. You know, and you know, my mom being who she was, I mean, she didn't hate guns, but she didn't love them either. You know, and you're Latino, right?
Yeah, so I'm Dominican. Both my parents are from the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
My mom, she grew up in a place where there's tons of corrupt cops in Santiago. I mean, she's like seen people getting killed by cops and stuff like that. My mom's not around anymore to tell these stories, but she's told me. And she had, so her opinion on guns was she didn't like them. They were just scary. And when people oftentimes say that, it's because they don't understand them. They don't understand how they work. And yes, guns are designed to kill people. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. It's not, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you need to meet someone with violence, you absolutely have to. The gun's a great equalizer. So, but anyway, so yeah, I grew up in a Dominican household. Not speaking a whole lot of Spanish, but my mom, I mean, from a young age, I loved guns and knives. And she's just like, what is going on? Like, why do you like this?
What did I raise?
I'm like, I'm just a boy. I just like these things. I don't know. Like, I don't understand. I don't really understand why either, but I just love them. And so, like, sneaking BB guns in the house that she didn't know I had and stuff like that. So I've always loved them. She never liked them. But when I got home from serving a mission for the LDS church, I was like, hey, I'm kind of thinking about getting an AR-15. She's like, well, I'll get it for you. And it's actually this one right here, my 14.5. No yeah, she got it for me.
How long ago was that?
So that was like,
that's cool. That's a cool story.
That was like 2013. So this gun I've had it for a while. Didn't always look like this, but yeah. So growing up in a household, she didn't love guns, but she kind of she knew that I wasn't, some nut job who was going to shoot up a place, but she was just like, he's got this thing, he likes it, it's his hobby. I'll support him. She's always been super supportive.
That's cool.
But yeah, definitely different. Definitely didn't grow up shooting, nothing like that. But definitely learned to love them.
Yeah, kind of the same here. Like, my mom, she's like, yeah, if you just don't bring them around me. Yeah, I did, and she knew I had them. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, she knew I had them. She's like, don't let me see them, but she's like, you can have them. And I think I brought home a buddy's, like, I think it was an SKS back in like 2004. And she's like, where did you get that? I was like, I stole it from some Russian guy out in the street. And she's like, no way. Like, she believed me. It was actually pretty funny. Out in the streets. Yeah. She's like, who are you hanging out with? Like, I know you have some people at school that you're hanging out with, but like, my mom's really not that naive, but in that instance, it seemed like it. Anyway, so don't
mess with that sweet lady. Leave her alone.
She's a sweetheart. I love my mom.
Leave her alone.
I love you, mom. She's not watching. She doesn't watch YouTube. I love you, mom.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, so no, that's cool. And then, so your background, have you always been into guns too, Chris?
No, I haven't. I came from a family that wasn't into guns at all. It wasn't a thing when I was growing up, so. When I turned 21, I got my concealed firearms permit. I bought a Glock 43. It's a single stack one, right? Yeah.
Yep.
It had just come out.
Little guy.
Yep. Right when I turned 21, that was before you could do a provisional permit. So that's when I bought my first gun. Started shooting with it. Didn't really get into training all that much. just kind of kept it around. I would go to the range and shoot it. I want to say that Frank and I met when I was kind of really new to shooting.
Yeah. So when he was telling the story about how Bread Percent kind of came to be, we all met up at a Second Amendment rally in Salt Lake.
This was the one in 2020, right? Last year, like beginning of last year.
It may have been
2019, I think.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
I think it was 2019.
So we'd actually, most of us had met before that. I don't know how to explain that. I guess through someone had invited us all to shoot. Chris was actually going to be doing some recording. Alex, who's offhand dominant, was there. Our buddy Connor, who is also in Bread Percent, he was there. I believe Lance, our buddy Lance, was there. There was just a bunch of us there, and we kind of all met there. And then after that day, we actually all just kind of lost touch. We followed each other on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we were kind of coordinating how we were going to get up to the rally. But yeah, we'd met prior to the rally,
right?
Stuff like that.
And I fucking sucked.
Oh man, true success story right here. This guy.
I was such a bad shooter at that point in time,
dude. That's okay.
He was shooting a
that's okay.
P320 RX.
Oh, yeah,
it was sick.
It was dope.
It was sick. Dude. My first red dot handgun. I watched the Sage Dynamics video on the drop test for that dot. What is it? The Romeo?
The Romeo 1.
Romeo 1.
Yeah, and I watched Aaron Cowan just shatter my whole, idea of this red dot in 1 second. He just dropped it and it broke. So I got rid of it. And then I got a Glock 19 and I got a Trijicon RMR and I started shooting a lot. And then, that's kind of when I got more into it, around the time when I went and met these guys.
Yeah. How often when did you know that you had become at least proficient? You can say all you want about how,
right.
I'm a pro.
What are the standards?
Yeah, what are the standards? But when you said, okay, I'm good.
Probably approximately like almost a year into shooting with a pistol. I was going to the gun vaults before they closed.
Running bill drills all the time.
Yeah, now it's a freaking Bentley Lamborghini dealership over there. But I went over to the gun vault. I was always drawing from concealment, even though it was against their rules. I didn't give a shit.
They had video cameras, right? At that point?
No, I had a shot timer, and I would just be drawing from concealment and shooting like T-Rex arms as cadence circles. I think they're like 2 or 3 inch circles.
Yep.
At that point, I don't know. I guess I felt pretty good about my skills and about drawing quickly. But I mean, then you kind of start getting into the rifle and you start working with reloads.
Transitions.
I don't know. Shooting proficiency is really up to interpretation, really. It's difficult to define it. But I would say that we're all proficient now. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely all proficient. I mean, we all trust each other for sure.
None of us are experts, though.
None of us are experts, and I kind of have this like.
What are you talking about? I'm Tim Kennedy, man.
Oh yeah, Grandmaster.
Nobody can beat Tim Kennedy.
So I kind of have this thing that I kind of keep in my head, and Chris will sometimes give me a hard time. Like, okay, we get it. Like, you're gonna win the Humble Award. We understand. I'm like, but I got to keep this thing in my head where I'm like, no, I'm not shit. Like, I'm not shit. I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing. I got to keep doing it. Because there'll be days where I'll show up to the range and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't probably be here right now. Like, I am just ass. There's other days where I have great days. So, but I'm like, if I continue to just sit there and relish on the good days I have, I'm like, I'm never going to grow.
Yeah.
And with this being a skill that, you don't use it, you lose it. You got to have a reason to keep training.
Yeah,
try fire, all that stuff.
It's
so
true.
We're definitely all proficient, and it's definitely something we're all very passionate about. None of us are experts.
We're all constantly improving.
Yeah.
We all like to push each other, and it's fun because all of the main dudes. We've got Alex, offhand dominant. We've got Connor, El Gringo Bandito, Frank, Dimpled Primer, myself, Robot Snakes, and then we've got Josh Buckner.
Yep.
Lance
Bentley, who is taking an Instagram sabbatical right now. Everybody kind of likes to do different stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Frank's very into doing pistol stuff. I like to do rifle to pistol transitions. Josh is obsessed with dumping Max with handguns.
That man is just made out of money.
It's really fun.
Glock 18.
Yeah, when we all get together, we all kind of are better at different things than each other, and so we push each other.
Yeah.
But I think having shitty days is a good thing.
Yeah, you need to have them.
You
have to have them.
Days.
If you're not having a bad day, you're doing something wrong. You're not pushing yourself hard enough or something.
And then when you go to range days, like what like the average Joe's range day, like you get humbled a lot there.
Yeah.
Because you got some serious shooters there.
Right.
Yeah.
We trained a lot we already were training a lot.
Sure.
So we continued to train. And then when we went there, it was really fun because we were challenged. There were a lot of really good shooters, but what was super fun is we saw a lot of, our skill kind of coming out, and we were all doing really well. And what was really cool is we were all shooting, drawing from
active retention
Safari Land holsters. Most everybody else had slick, passive retention, Ragnaroks, Optios or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, definitely, like you said, I was definitely humbled. I mean, I even walked away from that day. I ended the day really well, and I seem to be I'm really hard on myself. So I walked away from that day, and I was just not I don't know. I was kicking myself, and I mean, like even now, I'm just like,
yeah. But then I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You did way good.
No, and there was things that I was like, man, like I've been.
You held yourself to your own standard,
right? And there
eat that.
There were things I had to keep in mind. Is like, so I screwed up that reload, and that thing haunts me. It haunts me. That haunts me so much. But then I was like, well, I mean, I won that contest, and not to brag, but I only been running that active retention holster for like 2 days. So, not direct, but I walk away from things like that, like, okay, wait a minute. Now, where I screwed up, what was happening? How can I break that down? And I've actually watched that part so many times, and I realized that there was a level of pressure that I was not used to. Like when we train, I'm familiar with these guys. Like I know if I screw something up, they're gonna, make fun of me about it, and it's all out of love. It's all good.
Sure, yeah.
But I mean, there was a whole nother level of pressure there, and I was like, I kind of feel like everybody else was expecting us to come in and just rock shit. And I was like, I just really screwed that up. That's really embarrassing.
I felt that too. Because we have a lot of good, videos. We have a lot of videos of us shooting well on Instagram. So we can't come in and be like, but bad.
And we probably need to post some of us not doing so well.
Yeah, some of the B-roll.
Talking about the bad days.
I have some videos.
I know you do.
Post them. I'm curious now.
We will. No, we will. For
sure.
Yeah,
no, it's good.
It's realistic, and I think people need to understand that you got to keep going. You just have to. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have a bad day, and if it's getting so bad that you need to put the gun away and go home, then do that.
Go home, or just sit out.
Just sit out. Go do something else. Go for a walk. Leave your guns with your buddies. Just just clear your mind.
And
just
eat a
chill out. Just
I go have a banana.
That's the vibe.
I seriously just want to have a range day where I just bring a grill.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
I have done that. There's another member. I forgot to bring him up. Brady, Dark Dilemmas.
Dude,
oh, yeah.
You are done.
I'm so screwed.
You're already on thin ice.
Down. He's not going to care.
Don't watch this.
He'll watch it and he'll be like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. I did bring out the grill a number of times. And he and I made burgers. And we would just chill. He would have a Bluetooth speaker. We would be out in our area shooting and just like grilling burgers. And just not a care in the world. We did a lot of that pre-COVID stuff. Yeah. Before all the ammo stuff just went berserk. So.
Which is insane.
Yeah. It's nice to have a grill out there, though, honestly.
It's also nice.
I like to camp, too. I don't know.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, get comfortable. But I think it's also nice if you're already shooting with a pretty big group, like there's 7 of us, 8 of us. Go smaller. Say, hey, look.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, our group does that. Like 2 of us will just go out, 3, maybe 4, keep it small. And that way we can actually slow down. We're not filming content. We're like, hey, this is actually to critique. Because when there's a lot of people, there's a lot going on, right? Everybody's having fun. Everybody's talking, all that stuff, and it's fine. It's a good time. But if we're actually trying to get better, break it down, have someone actually watching you while you're shooting, recording you, not just for Instagram, but for you to actually break it down and watch what you're doing, how you can improve, and have that other person say, hey, I watched you do this. Like one thing I would do a lot is when I would draw my holster or draw from my holster, from my belt, outside the waistband, I would dip a lot. I would just come down and I would like dip. And that's a lot of wasted movement. Although it's not really inhibiting my, my draw, my presentation and stuff like that. It's movement that didn't need to be happening.
Right.
So I slowly eliminated that, and I might still do it every once in a while. But these are things you learn.
After you watch it, after you critique.
And having a buddy there with you. So.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I'm kind of in the same boat where, I think watching your guys' content, I'm like, wow, okay. I there's things I need to do better, for sure. Because I like the standard you guys set. I mean, I think you guys, in a way, unknowingly kind of set a standard for people that watch your stuff. Like I have people that our range days, the bread percent boys, they, that's what they're called, bread percent boys.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, we've heard it all.
Yeah. They do some sweet drills. That's one thing I struggle with is actually like coming up with drills that are effective, that are worthwhile, potentially low round count,
Yes.
Ammo still a little on the pricier side.
Yeah, we've tried to adjust for that for sure.
Yeah, big time.
So who do you guys come up with? I mean, do you come up with those drills? I mean, is it kind of everybody jumping in?
Yeah, we both do. Frank and I come up with a lot of stuff. I want to say, what's the last drill that we ran that was...
So that nighttime one, rifle, reload rifle, then draw the pistol. Then there's also the Baker's Dozen. That one's 13 rounds. So that's kind of a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So we haven't seen people really doing that.
Really running that.
And I don't blame them.
So
I don't blame them. It's a lot of rounds.
I'll think of a lot of drills though. Like if there's a video that I want to make, then I'll kind of like draw it out on paper or draw the targets and figure out the round count. I'll come up with a lot of drills and just kind of get all the guys on board with it. It's fun because it'll be something that I haven't done before. Nobody's done before. So nobody's going to be like an expert at it.
Right.
Whereas there's like the Corona Vibes drill is something that, we're kind of really known for. That's something that we could just, smoke most people on because we've just done it a million times.
Not Jim Elmtree.
Not Jim Elmtree. That dude came in at
Frick.
At the Zona day. He
won a lead bearing custom stripper job.
In hindsight, Jim, you're a fantastic guy. I probably shouldn't have let you compete. But he was like, "Can I compete?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Because this guy, he didn't have a race gun.
No,
he had an 11.5. He had a Comp M5 red dot. He had a RC2 suppressor. It wasn't anything fancy. It's just a one shot to bolt lock with the rifle, transition to handgun, one shot, reholster handgun, bring the rifle back up, reload, and then fire, all in the A zone at 10 yards. And he just smoked everybody.
In like 2.5 seconds.
Part of me
that's probably an exaggeration, but man.
A part of me felt like bad. I was like, damn, like all these kids, they're not going to get like the sweet lead bearing customs frame, but also there's no reason you can't be as good as this dude.
Right. Exactly. And that's something that we said.
You can be as good as this dude.
Yeah.
He's just shooting a lot.
Yeah.
He's put a lot of time into it.
Well, maybe not even shooting. I mean, in
dry fire.
Dry fire
is very
that is 9/10 of the law. I've learned.
It is very, very effective.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing keeping you from getting there.
For sure. So yeah, not to digress too far from your original question of kind of who comes up with the drills, but also just to come back with what Frank said, something that we've established within our group is that it is 100% okay if people branch off and go out and shoot, without sending out invitations to everybody. Because I mean, I'm sure that everybody who goes out and shoots in groups knows it's a lot to handle.
Right.
It can be unsafe if you're not careful.
Oh.
And it's super difficult to. I mean, with all of us, I don't feel unsafe at all. We all are.
It's not too big of a group.
No,
it's like 7 dudes.
It's so much easier to stay focused if you're like 2 or 3 people. And I want to say, like, we record probably 20% of the time. I film like 20% of shooting. The rest of it is just like working on shooting.
Live in the moment type thing.
Yeah,
like for sure.
Everybody listening, sorry, one more thing. Everybody listening, I definitely encourage you guys, if you've been shooting in big groups, branch out.
Definitely. Go
and shoot in a pair of 2 or 3. And just start shaving your times down, stay accurate.
And you don't always have to go fast.
No, you don't.
Like, I know it's sexy to do that. It's sexy to go fast and just, freaking, speed it up all the time. You don't always have to do that. Actually, you probably shouldn't all the time. Definitely go fast enough to see where the wheels fall off, but definitely, take some time, slow it down, kind of see where you're putting your energy.
It's like when you start an instrument, guitar, for example. You start slow, just learn those chords, learn the movements, learn the picking. It's all the same. Go slow,
Yeah.
Either way. But yeah, actually another thing I was wanting to bring up.
Sorry, I'm just asking.
You're good. Schlonking.
The fuck is that?
You know what it is.
The fuck is
your
that?
Your raw egg drinking crap, dude.
So
freak.
I've noticed you put milk in yours.
That's Alex.
Or is Alex?
It's raw milk. Alex, I got you. It's raw milk.
Don't
I've
get it twisted.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, is it organic milk? Is that what it is?
Slonking. Yeah,
it's organic. It's got. I think it's like unpasteurized,
straight from the udder.
Straight from the tea.
Within a couple of hours, right? That stuff's very.
Does he live on a farm? Or like
no,
or
he just goes to some.
He's got a guy.
Market.
He's got a guy that gives him milk
from a questionable source. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's from a cow.
This one's from an onion patch.
Yeah, Alex dilutes his in raw milk. That's his thing.
Okay.
Not to say that he can't palate just plain raw eggs.
Because he's done like 3 in a glass at once.
Oh, dude, 3's a low number.
No, he's done like 5.
He can keep his throat sphincter like just open for I think about 5 seconds.
Absolutely.
Throat sphincter.
You have to be able to.
Yeah.
Is that an actual anatomical?
So your throat does have a sphincter.
I know.
But I don't think it leads right into the stomach. But he just keeps that puppy open. And he just sinks them.
It's the most effective way, it seems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very and super impressive. You should see that guy eat a J-Dog.
The amount of
gosh.
DMs that I get from people saying that I'm going to get salmonella is uncontrollable. I can't respond to all of them. So I just started making a joke like that I'm not going to get salmon and vanilla because they say salmonella and I just act like I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then they think I'm even more stupid. So it's pretty fun to see that. But anyways, yeah, drinking raw eggs. Do you do that? Do you work out?
Yes, I do, but I've never done that.
Why?
I don't know. But I'm inspired.
It's a great quick
I
source of
haven't
protein.
done it either.
You haven't done
it?
it?
I'm like in the group. No, I have no desire.
I encourage you guys to research it. And
no, I'm down. I'm down to do it. Just never, I just can't bring myself to go grab the eggs, crack them into a cup. I'll crack them into like a bowl and whisk them up, put them in a pan.
Yeah,
these weird ass white
I
boys,
watched
man, let me tell you.
It's a white thing, right?
White people shit, maybe, I don't know. But Alex taught me how to do it.
Is there a technique?
He taught me how to open my throat really good. You know what I'm saying? But no, he told me to wash the shells because that's typically how you can get sick is if the shells are dirty.
Oh.
So yeah, I rinse the shells off and I dry them, and I'll do like up to 6. If it's a sick pump, I'll do like 6 eggs afterwards. Typically 2 eggs before. And yeah, it's a great quick source of protein. It's also good for testosterone production.
Yeah.
I would look into it.
Okay.
Send me a video of you drinking eggs, please.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's begging.
Yeah.
He will
it's
pay.
like I crack an ostrich egg.
He will pay you.
I want to see that. That's what I want to see.
I think it was just the way that you were pronouncing it, like schlonking. I was like,
okay, so how do you say it?
Slonking.
It's just slonking.
Okay.
When you say schlong,
I don't think there's
like,
any wrong
like
way to
you're
say
saying
it.
schlong or something.
Well, I mean, the way we've been describing it, you could almost say it is.
You could say it anyway, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right
I knew what you were talking
about.
about.
You're downing eggs.
What is it with you guys just gulping these whole ass eggs?
Just opening your throat,
No.
letting them slide.
I'm not even joking.
Go
I think
ahead.
I'm gonna find an ostrich egg and I'm gonna make Alex do it. Like,
He may
with his
do it.
throat?
He can't whisk it though. He has to like chew it down.
Yeah, he will. He'll do it as long as it's organic.
Prepare to be impressed.
Okay.
Alex, we're signing you up for something, buddy. We need you to be a team player.
Yeah, you can find raw milk, but can you also find a raw ostrich egg too, please?
I'm sure he's got a guy. He's from West Valley. They're crazy out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've heard quail eggs are really good.
They're tiny.
Do like 30 of those.
Yeah. Well, Savio's been telling me like quail eggs are really good for drinking.
What does he know?
A lot about quail eggs, it seems, but I don't know. I haven't confirmed it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah,
Yeah, do it.
I'll tag you.
Sweet.
I'll make it a short on YouTube or something.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Your first experience schlonking.
I had the SH on there. Sorry.
SCH schlonking.
Schlonking. Dude, that's so
it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Frank, you got to do it too. If I'm going to do it, you got to do it.
I don't have to do it.
This is a challenge.
Peer pressure never worked on me. If it did,
I'm not pressuring. I'm not pressuring. I'm just saying, hey, be a man.
I just don't want you to be looking like a little bitch.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
Maybe I want to look like a little bitch.
I love that. I love that page on Instagram, the Be a Man Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Home Depot and sniff the lumber.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Be a man.
Go to the shooting range and don't use ear protection. Be a man. That is very dangerous.
Yes, don't do that. You disclaimer.
I like the one where he's like, somebody's breaking into your house. Don't call the cops. Beat their ass. Be a man.
I think a lot of people do live by that. Like, is there time to call the cops?
Yeah. Your air conditioning goes out. Don't fix it. Dehydrate. Die.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Yeah. Good Lord.
I fear they're gonna run out of content, but it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, his comedy sketches are actually pretty good.
Oh, is he a comedian? I know nothing about this guy. I've
only seen the downtown stuff.
He's from downtown Boston.
I mean, clearly that man is unapologetically
like
Bostonian.
Boston.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You
guys just made
violently from Boston.
Dude, yeah. I actually have you been to Boston before?
Mm-mm.
No. Have you been to Boston before?
Mm-mm.
I'd like to visit Boston.
Admittedly, where I grew up, there was a kind of a bubble. Like people here, when people heard that I was moving to Utah, they're like, "You gonna live on a farm? They don't even have paved roads out there."
Whatever.
Yeah,
like you had,
exactly.
You had like an hour north of where you were from, and freaking nothing but farms.
Right, so there you go. But like people, first of all, kind of embarrassing. I grew up around people who didn't even know where the hell Utah was.
Nice.
Yeah, we went to the same school.
Okay.
So I'm
education system failed more than one person.
Know. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's a bubble everywhere, and admittedly, I was in one of them growing up. People had no idea. So. Would
you say there's a bubble here in Utah? I have mixed feelings about that, so we'll talk about that for a second.
There is. There certainly is. I mean, yeah. But when you're ready to get there, we'll get there. But yeah, there certainly is.
Okay. I think there's, like you said, there's a bubble everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But I think they're different. Each bubble is different, and each vibe is different for that bubble. Arizona, you get pockets of, like, if we're gonna compare it to Utah, pockets of LDS people. We've got Gilbert. I'm sure you heard of Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah.
I
have an older brother who
everybody has
lived there. He's away right now, but
think of that as like Lehigh.
Okay.
Yeah, think of that as Lehigh with a temple.
Okay.
Then you've got like downtown Phoenix. That is either you're corporate or you are Hispanic. Okay. There's no in between, or a baseball player. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But here I've noticed, I have nothing but good things to say about Utah. I think that's, because I moved here for school. I went to Utah State University, and that was a different bubble. Like Cache Valley. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cache Valley at all. Logan area.
I've spent some time up there.
Yeah.
I haven't. I mean, my wife, she went to school up there, but yeah, I didn't. I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, people had like a superiority complex of like, we're from Cache Valley, so we can't have outsiders. Like, they don't say that.
That's how it should be, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding.
See, I kind of look at that and I'm like, where the fuck is Cache Valley?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Who is you?
Wait, this is basically Preston, Idaho, and we all know what happened there. Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that where it's filmed?
Their claim to fame.
It's a great film.
Preston, Idaho.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you read my face.
Yeah, no, I can see it. Yeah. But yeah, so.
I love Uncle Rico.
Yeah, me too. No, pigskin over them mountains.
Every time somebody's up at range day, I'll be like, "You're up, Kip," and they'll cycle in.
Did you make a joke? I'm just laughing because it's a podcast.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. I say it to Alex especially.
You're
be like,
"That ain't true."
You're up, Kip.
You're up, Kip. Did you grab his?
No, he probably does say that.
Did you shake his knee too?
There's so much going on. Oh, we shake things at range.
No,
that's
slonking.
Not true.
We don't.
Slonking.
Stick to slonking with eggs, guys. Like, not each other. Okay.
Whose huevos are we slonking?
I don't ask Alex. Sorry, I don't really even know Alex, and I'm like giving you a hard time. So you better be.
He's wild, dude.
Yeah,
he's a very polite young man, very respectable.
You said he's from West Valley. We need to have him on next week.
Yeah, he is.
Just him.
Yeah, just him.
Yeah,
it'll be an Alex special. He'll talk to you about raw milk and the government. We're just laughing because we know him really well. But anyways,
that, dude.
Talking about bubbles.
So much.
Bubbles. Yes, bubbles. Okay.
Bubble.
Yeah.
Cache Valley bubble. They got a bubble over there.
They have a bubble.
Do they realize people don't know where Cache Valley is?
Yes, they do, and they will want to keep it that way. But there's a big university there,
exclusive,
and so they can't really keep people out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It got kind of annoying because I'm not from there. I was like, you guys are a bunch of hick farmers, and like, go away.
Yeah, your mascot's a cow.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually a bull. It's an Aggie.
I went for the content of the university, not for sports.
No, I mean, my wife. Like I said, my wife went to school there.
Oh, really?
And she got a great education. She's love you, boo.
She's not
shout
watching.
Out Julie.
Shout out, she might. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
She's
She's a
supportive,
great lady.
She puts up with a lot.
Yeah, she does. Especially when me and Frank are together, she puts up with a lot.
So does your wife.
Carly does. Yeah, she's
poor woman.
They're both saints.
Do they shoot?
My wife shoots some. Yeah, she likes to. She does like to. Yeah.
Carly will shoot the 22 with a can on it, but she doesn't like anything other than that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I don't blame her.
I mean, honestly,
if you're not really into that, I mean, it's comfortable.
Oh, super! It doesn't feel like a real gun, right? Like what people imagine, what they see in the movies, where a 9mm will split a dude in half. 40, you could just end a planet with a 40. So like,
that's
it's not one
45.
of those.
45.
45 is
that'll create a black hole.
nuclear war.
But don't tell them about the 10mm because
no, we don't talk.
It's a bear killer.
That's a bear
talk about
round.
Yeah, bear round.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But so bubbles. So Cache Valley has a bubble. They don't want anybody to know about.
Right.
Isn't Tate from Cache Valley?
I think he lives up there right now. I don't know if he's there from the original.
And I'm bashing.
Fucking hick.
Yeah, I'm bashing Cache Valley, but all of my wife's ancestors are from Cache Valley.
Okay.
All of them are buried in Paradise, Utah.
Okay.
So, sorry.
You have a right to talk shit.
No,
I do.
yeah.
I don't know. I liked it, but literally you drive 30 minutes east, 30 minutes west, 30 minutes north, 30 minutes south. You get nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, so like in Logan, like having been up there, I'm like, I couldn't live here because although it's quiet, it seems like people are trying to make noise. It seems like people are trying to have something happen. And I'm like, look, I either want to live in a city where it's already happening, or I want to live in a place that's so dead, like up at Bear Lake, just north of, where I'm like, I'm by myself somewhat, like there's enough space and it's quiet enough where it's quiet. It actually is quiet.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Logan.
I mean,
kind of an odd place to me.
It is odd. I wouldn't move back.
My only experience there was
I'm a city boy.
It was just like a kind of like a college town for me.
Yeah.
The only reason I ever went up there is my brother went to college there when I was in high school. I'd always be.
But there are whole ass adults up there with like little children.
Oh yeah.
What are they doing up there?
That's a great question. Working at Herms. I don't know.
That's one thing I could. I'm just taking this off. Sorry. It's more comfortable. I want to lean back. When I was up there, I noticed it would be a really good place to raise a family. I mean, if
there's
you
only
want,
one school up there, and it's a college.
If you want, true. If you want quiet, you'll get quiet. I think that's what most people want, and I think that's why they don't want a highway going
sounds
through
like
there.
a threat.
It does sound like a threat. But yeah, that was probably the most noticeable bubble. And then when I enter cross the boundaries between Salt Lake County and Utah County, I feel it. Like you literally physically like, ooh.
And okay, so Salt Lake County does have its own bubble.
It does.
It does.
It does.
And so does Utah County.
Yes.
It's different vibes.
Utah County from Salt Lake County. There's a difference for sure.
He can't stand the people down here. He thinks they're disgusting.
Stop.
And we are.
Stop it. I like it down here. I like Utah County a lot, actually.
Yeah,
Utah County, in my opinion, in my experience, seems to be a lot more, I'll say, patriotic than Salt Lake County.
Freaking flags everywhere, like the canyon flag that they had.
Yeah,
dude, that was cool.
People here are a lot more proud of. People here appear to be a lot more proud of the country that they live in.
Okay, and okay with being defiant. I've noticed that too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
A lot of dirty SBRs.
Yes.
A lot of dirty SBRs.
You didn't hear that here.
What are you gonna do? You can't arrest everybody.
That just means that they need to be cleaned.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed, like, when everybody was being super crazy about coronavirus, nobody in Utah County was wearing masks. So every time we came down here to go shooting, I was like, fuck yeah, we don't have to be harassed about not wearing masks. But I like Utah County a lot because it seems like people here are a lot more conservative, I guess. They're a lot more patriotic. Yeah. And Salt Lake is less so. Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot with my reps in my area. I mean, I've got a really good senator, but is House representative? Yeah, House representative. And yeah, my senator, she's not. I've sent her many emails, only in Spanish, but mind you, because she's a Spanish speaker.
Yeah, really get the point across.
Yeah, and she responds in English every time.
How dare she?
Poser ass.
I'm like, who are you?
Yeah. Freaking phony. Trifling.
Yeah, but yeah, different vibes. Utah County, definitely.
People in Utah County are worse drivers than in Salt Lake County. It is out of control. This has to be addressed. I'll be driving in my
you should look at the camera when you talk about this.
I'll be driving in my truck, and there is some woman with blonde hair. She is in a large SUV.
It's your mom.
She is going to run me off of the fucking road. I finally turn left or right. She passes me going 90 miles an hour in a 35, and there's a BYU sticker on the back of the vehicle. It's absurd. It happens a lot.
That actually happened on the way here.
Yes.
I was cut off like hardcore.
I love my missionary sticker.
Slam on the brakes by a soccer mom with a BYU sticker.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with BYU. We'll get to that maybe later.
Right.
But
it's very ironic.
Yeah.
It's like you are advertising that you are a Christian person and that you love thy neighbor, but you fucking hate thy neighbor on the road.
Yeah, you almost committed murder.
Oh my God, yes.
Manslaughter at the very
least.
least.
Like I am not human to you behind this windshield here.
It's crazy. And like, I mean, you'll pass over Point of the Mountain, enter Utah County on I-15.
Oh yeah.
And it's a fucking racetrack, even more than it was before. Yeah. And because before it is, Utah drivers they are bad drivers in my opinion. That stereotype. Arizona was different. The people were better drivers in Arizona.
Yeah, and the roads were crazier, I think. I feel like
in Arizona.
Yeah, I feel like when we got onto that freeway, like when we were actually really getting into Arizona.
I-15 was it the I-17?
It was when we were getting closer. Wow, what's the city that Nick lives in?
They live in Queen Calf Creek, something like
Cave Creek. Because you guys were in northern.
No, we were deep. Yeah, we were down there. We were
Queen Creek.
Queen Creek. Okay.
Southern Arizona. And the roads were just, it felt crammed once we got deep enough in there.
It was very busy. A lot of
But
traffic.
the drivers, they were actually
signal.
Considerate. They actually signal and they're not hesitant. So, okay, let me compare this to like New York. Growing up, having learned how to drive in New York, like I said, although I didn't grow up in the city, I drove into the city plenty. And people just, if you're going to do something, just do it. None of this like, hesitate. Just get in there. Just do it. Get in there. And so I drive that way still. And I'm sure I'm a little bit more of a Utah driver now that I'm a New York driver. But because I have to drive with everybody else here. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, do you not know what you're doing? You've got to just go for it. And that's such a problem. There's so much hesitancy and it just drives me freaking crazy.
Well, one thing that I noticed growing up in Phoenix is that once you like get into the thick of it and you're traveling, during rush hour in the morning, in the evening, people are risky. Like they'll kind of turn into Utah drivers where they'll just move into something or they'll be going, or it's kind of like California drivers. If you're in like LA County, you're on the freeway and there's like nobody in the far right lane, but all 4 other lanes are jam-packed, they will swoop all the way around past everybody like that.
I see that
going 90, 80.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I see that out here all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
As well.
Yeah.
But
wait, weren't we talking about bubbles?
Yeah.
That's kind of
but that's kind of like
it's
kind of split up, right?
Okay, I just wanted to circle back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's typically, I will say it is typically Caucasian women in large SUVs sporting BYU stickers.
Yeah.
Those are the repeat offenders that I've witnessed.
And I realized being here in Utah that there needs to be a new driving test for people over the age of 60.
So here's a funny fact. Since I work in insurance, once you get to a certain age, I believe it's 70, we'll start charging you like you're 16 because you're slower to react.
That's good to know.
Your vision's not as good. A lot of things just kind of go down the drain with your age, right? So once you hit a certain age, your insurance rates do go up.
Interesting.
The more you know.
The more you know.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Grandma.
Yeah, no. So we get a lot of calls. People are like, hey, like, what's going on? I thought, like, I'm a good driver, never getting in accidents. Yeah, but you're slower. You're not seeing as well. I mean,
you have to sit on a phone book.
You can probably fall asleep in random places.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool.
It certainly is.
No, that's cool. Is that like
pissed?
All insurance companies?
Yeah. So all insurance. This is gonna get real boring. Let's wrap the insurance talk up real quick. But it's all statistics.
Oh yeah.
So
more likely to get an
right.
accident. Yeah.
So that's how they look at it. So yeah, but
short,
let's move on from
short,
that.
sweet, and to the point.
Yeah.
Good. Insurance.
No.
Yeah. Hit them up. So, did you have any more to say about bubbles? Here in Utah, especially?
Just that there's a huge stigma around Mormonism within Utah. And I think that some of it's, merited. A lot of people think that people in Utah, LDS people in Utah, are very judgmental towards other people. And I think that kind of stigma has been earned, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was an active LDS churchgoer until I was like 14 or so.
Sure.
And I just kind of had a free agency chat with my dad. He was really cool about it, but I essentially told him, I said that I don't want to be here. I don't want to go to church. My heart's not in it. He respected my decision to do so. But as a result, and I did an Instagram story about this recently that got a lot of people were DMing me. As a result, I lost all of my friends because all of their parents were saying, well, you can't hang out with him. Yeah. He's not going to church. He doesn't believe in what we believe in anymore. He's not doing what we're doing, so you can't hang out with him. So I think that a lot of people kind of get the idea that LDS people within Utah, specifically like Salt Lake County and Utah County, I think people get the idea that that LDS people kind of are up on a high horse,
right,
socially, and they kind of look down on everybody else that's not LDS. That's, in my opinion, a big issue in Utah. That's a big bubble in Utah. That's kind of, from what I understand and from what I've experienced, other states, people don't have that same, mentality. There's not that same stigma associated with the LDS religion in other states.
That's true. Yeah, coming from Arizona, actually, I had a lot of friends that would bash Utah for that. Oh, it's so judgmental. They do this and they do that. I'm like, do you hear yourself right now?
Right.
You're doing the same thing that you say they don't do. And I thought that was the funniest. I always thought that was the funniest thing. But I think the biggest takeaway from that was, like, I think you get it just in lesser degrees and for different reasons. Like maybe it's like in the South, you probably get people that are, in the Bible Belt and they're Baptist. If it's religion that we're talking about, it could be something political too. It could be, if you go to, New Jersey somewhere, I mean, most of those people might be
probably
Catholic, liberal,
probably Catholic or something. Yeah.
And you have a, like a Blue Lives Matter flag flying in, or like, for example, downtown Salt Lake, if you have a Blue Lives Matter, I mean, I guarantee you're going to have vandalism in your house very soon. But like, I don't know, you see different, when it comes to like the LDS community in Arizona, it's very tight knit. Everybody knows each other, but they don't associate with the Utah Mormonism. It's interesting. I don't know.
I get that.
Yeah. They don't associate it because they're like, no, because we're not that judgmental. No, because we're humble. Like things like that. You know what I mean? Like I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And I used to be one of those guys that was like, I'm never gonna move to Utah. It's Mormons are too judgmental. I grew up LDS. I served a mission too, and so I'm like, it's interesting to see that, and the fact that like you were stigmatized. I've noticed that a lot. Like when somebody decides not to, be in the church anymore, people's friends just freaking leave them.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? Like I had friends that just didn't want to be in the church anymore, which whatever, dude, you're still my friend. Let's hang out. Let's do stuff. But like, I think that's really, really shitty.
No, it's incredibly messed up. I mean, not very
I feel
Christ-like,
bad for you. I'm
if
sorry
ask me.
that happened to you, man. That sucks. But
yeah, it's a shame. It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kind of outcasts,
Yeah.
that have been subject to that, and they don't take it very well. A lot of people the people that have the most animosity towards the church used to be a part of the church.
oh yeah,
And on their way out, they were just the black sheep.
dang, yeah,
Shunned.
yeah. Actually, I joke around with my a good friend of mine who did leave the church, and I say him and Jaime made up this joke. He's like, you know what the difference between CrossFitters, vegans, and ex-Mormons are? They won't shut up about it. And he's like, dude, you're so right. I am like number one on the ex-Mormon Reddit.
And new
Reddit
motorcycle owners.
Dude.
Oh my gosh, we get it.
Freaking people that buy motorcycles, dude, they're so annoying.
Yeah.
He just won't stop talking about that because he's jealous that I have a motorcycle.
Yeah, you just
Here we
got
go.
it. You just got it, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He just got it. Of course you know.
Yeah.
Stop.
Everybody
did,
does.
I didn't know. I don't know the model.
Everybody
though.
knows.
I just know you got a new one.
That's all that matters.
It is
As long as you know he's riding on two wheels.
Yep.
FZ1.
He does a
if
little
you were
hand thing when
wondering.
he drives past other motorcycle
I
drivers.
do that
Of course,
sometimes.
why wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's kind of our running joke, and not everybody finds that funny. I found out, especially CrossFitters.
I think I find it to be true.
I
Yeah.
find it to be very funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would probably prefer to somebody that they don't like the joke. I'd probably prefer that. I like that. Of
course you would.
conflict. It's nice.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, so yeah, like back to the original point, I think you'll always find that everywhere, and more so in a lot of places, Salt Lake County, Utah County, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I've learned to live with it. I just live my life here, and I found that if you don't talk about that stuff, like people just don't bring it up, and
Yeah.
we're humans. Deal with it.
No.
Who cares? We have our beliefs, we have our motives, we have our our backstories. And
That's kind of my thing too. Just like live your life, don't hurt anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, when I'm out of state and I mention being from Utah, if somebody that I don't really like that much, I guess if I'm indifferent about the person and they start to talk poorly about the church, I tell them that I'm an active member that goes to church every weekend, and they just shut the fuck up so fast. I love it.
Yeah.
Because you left with no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't like, this. I just didn't want to go.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, no judgment here.
Yeah.
At all.
I just didn't want to go,
never mind.
and I told my dad, I was like, I just didn't want to fucking go to church on Sunday, and I wanted to hang out and watch TV on Sundays instead.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't believe in anything that we're doing right now. And he was like, all right. And so he let me leave. But yeah, if somebody out of state is like talking shit, like, oh yeah,
Utah,
they're all so rude and judgmental and polygamous, and then they do crazy weird things. They'll say the most absurd things about what Mormons do. And my parents are LDS; they're great people. So yeah, I'll just act like I'm an active member and just look them right in the eyes, and they stop talking badly about it.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that confrontation a little bit with people sometimes. So
yeah, I kind of feed into that stuff a little bit every now and again. I shouldn't, especially with like my family members. Hell, dude, I'm notorious for that. Anyway.
But if it's somebody that you're not going to see again, like it's pretty fun. Like if you have,
Fuck 'em.
Fuck them all. If you have that in you, it's kind of hard to not do it. So I think it's best to do it with somebody that you probably won't see again.
Yeah, learn that the hard way.
Yeah. Well, in fact, we were shooting the other night, and we were joined by that guy who was in his old truck. This guy was in his old truck.
Yeah.
And
it was cool.
Came over and he shot with us.
Holden. His name was Holden.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Holden? If you're watching this,
I hope you are.
He's
a good shooter.
He said that we had already met, and I was like, really? He was like, yeah, you fucking freaked out at my group the other day. And I was like, oh.
Now, to be fair, freaking out was warranted.
Yeah, tell him what happened, Frank.
So we just got done with our range day at the bakery. as you all know.
The bakery.
The one.
The only one.
And so we were driving down from the spot we were shooting at, and and you're familiar with the spot. It's the one over.
Yeah, at the dump or
not that far in. It's not too. It's the quarry.
Oh yeah.
So just behind there. So we kind of been shooting more recently, a little deeper in, farther in the mountains and stuff. So coming down into like that main bowl area where everybody seems to shoot. We've been choosing not to shoot there because of how busy it gets and it gets a little crazy, right? So we're coming down and we've got to drive on these roads that kind of surround that bowl area.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we're coming down this way, and you're driving from on top of this like backstop, right, down into this road. And while we were driving, these guys were kind of shooting. I mean, they're shooting, and I'm assuming, hopefully, they were aiming at this, what would be their backstop. But I mean, it looked like some of the rounds were kind of going over the road that we were actually driving on. And so I'm like looking down, and because I know what's going on. And I recognize one of the guys that's down there. So I'm like, all right, let me go talk to him.
You were in a separate vehicle too.
Yeah, I was in my own vehicle. Chris and Brady were in front of me. So they were driving off. So I'm like, I'm going to go turn around. I'm going to go talk to this guy real quick, kind of say what's up, and kind of say, you need to be careful.
Because when we drove past, there was an older gentleman, I don't know his name, who looked at us and like threw his hands in the air like...
Yeah, we're the assholes.
Yeah, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Driving on that road, how dare you?
And so when Frank went over, I thought that he was going to go and like confront them.
Throw some hands.
So I was like, fuck yeah, like I'm down. So I like go and I hop out, like, and Frank's like, you were just chatting.
Yeah, so actually, because I knew one of the guys.
Okay.
I knew one of them. And so I'm over there, I'm just talking to him. And I was just like, hey, being friendly and stuff like that, just kind of catching up a little bit. And then I was going to be like, hey, what the fuck? Like, why are you throwing your hands up? Like, we're driving on a road. That road is there for a reason. You shouldn't be shooting over it. Right. But at first I was talking to this guy, I was just going to be friendly, and then I would get to that point. Chris comes over, and he's like, hey, fuck you.
No, I did not.
And he pulls his pants down.
No.
And starts anger baiting. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I think what I said was...
definition, anger baiting.
I just came in. I came in, and I just kind of came walking over. I think Frank looked at me, and he was like, oh, fuck.
I'm like, hey.
He was like kind of trying to be like...
Let me finesse this.
And I just like looked at him, and I was like, hey, do you figure any of your rounds might be going over the road? Yeah. Right, just over that road where vehicles drive. I was like, do you know that it's like actually against the law to shoot over the fucking road? And I just started saying,
unsafe.
I started saying fuck,
unsafe.
like even more progressively saying the F word more profanity, just like kind of raising my voice and
puffing your chest out.
Yeah, and it turns out like the guy that I was talking to like wasn't the dude that raised his arms up. Like the guy that raised his arms up was like
he was actually, to be honest,
he didn't want to.
He was being a bitch. Like he was the oldest one in the group.
He was being a fucking
and
pussy.
He was ducking behind like one of the vehicles and kind of like watching.
Yeah, he's probably
shoot out the wrong guy.
Dude,
I was like, yo, come on,
he's probably gonna try and hit me up after this if he watches it. But I was like, do you think any of those fucking rounds are going on the fucking road? You guys are fucking idiots. And the guy was just like, yeah, I mean, probably, I mean, you're right. Yeah, probably it was. And he like didn't want to get into it.
No.
Yeah.
And you explained to me he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I think maybe he was just kind of like,
he was just
maybe he wasn't really, he was kind of caught off guard by like, what kind of happening? Like, yeah, maybe you're right. And hey, sorry.
Because he probably didn't get a word in at that point, right?
No, because really. He was, exactly. I was all fired up.
That's okay.
Like 700 milligrams caffeine anyways, Frank was just like, yeah, man, like just relax a little bit. And I was just like, all right, well, you guys, it's ridiculous that you raised your hands as if we're in the wrong. Like, do you understand why this is stupid, right?
And while you were saying that, I swear I was looking for the dude who was who actually threw his hands up in the air, and he was ducking behind a car. And I was like, whatever.
Old ass man didn't want any smoke. Yeah. So then I was like, all right, I'm out of here. And Frank just like kept talking to him. Frank is a very, very good socially. Sometimes I get pissed, and he's able to keep it together.
He'll throw the first punch.
So I mean, there's definitely a time and a place to start clapping people.
Yeah.
And by that I don't mean
clapping cheeks.
shooting. I mean maybe, you know, get a little loud and kind of
the cheeks,
a little aggressive with people. But yeah, definitely clapping cheeks.
So yeah. Cheeks. So how this all ties into the story is this dude, he was out to meet somebody less than a week ago.
Yeah. It was the last time we went shooting. So it was on August 14th, actually. The night we went out.
That's so cute. You remember the date. And this guy's coming, he's shooting with us, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I'm Chris. You know, he was like, oh yeah, we've met. You were yelling at my boss. And I was like, oh, and he kind of explained to me like what happened, and I was like, oh yeah, I did that guy. I didn't get to talk to him. He was like, yeah, that was really awkward. I actually don't remember if he said it was awkward or not. He was really not being awkward about it.
No.
He was just
like nonchalantly brought it up.
Yeah, he was just like, how we met is that you freaked out at our group. This is how we met. And I was like, oh, okay, word. So then he started shooting with us, and we had a good time.
We had a really good time. He kept up. He was like,
yeah, he should reach out. He should reach out. Let's go shoot again.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
We enjoyed your company. Don't bring that boss guy though. Don't bring him.
No.
Just kidding. He can come if he'll humble up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so funny how that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be an asshole to strangers, but sometimes make them back around.
Yeah. Okay. So
get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let.
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't get beat up
by an old man.
I mean,
he noodle looking ass. Gumby dude.
I'm not the hardest guy in the world, but I could scrap a little bit. I wouldn't let anybody hurt you.
Have you been in a fist fight before?
Yeah.
Have you?
No.
I grew up in a very violent household. Very violent. Lots of violence.
Have you gotten in a fight with somebody other than your family member?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the real
Got my ass kicked plenty of times. Hurt other people. You know, fair enough, but I'm not some world champion street fighter.
No.
You win, you lose.
In those situations, you play dirty. Like you.
Yeah.
Dirty.
No, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, in elementary school, I punched this kid in the face because he started making fun of my mom. I don't know why I got so offended by that. I love my mom. The second time, I love you, mom. But I punched him. He had braces, broke through his bottom lip, like his tooth and everything busted through his lip.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Good for him.
Yeah, he got suspended.
Taught him a lesson. That's what you get
in school.
And you'd probably do it again if you had the chance.
To the kid,
maybe
to a kid,
to a child,
kid. A minor,
to a 10-year-old kid. Yeah, maybe.
Fuck him up,
maybe. Dude, he gave me like a wedgie, and I was super embarrassed.
Really?
Yeah, I was super embarrassed because I had Anakin Skywalker boxers, and I didn't want anybody to see them except me.
Dude, yeah, they can't be touching your fit like that. No, I've never been in an actual fight. I used to fight with my roommates. We used to get drunk, and we thought we were cool, and we'd fist fight and stuff. But
that's the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was a college thing.
Yeah, of course it was.
But what I want to touch on is something that we've already kind of talked about. But Frank is very interesting. He is a very interesting person because,
what does that mean?
And I'm not gonna joke around. I joke around a lot, but right now I'm not gonna joke around. Oh, Frank is very, very, he has fantastic interpersonal skills. Mm-hmm. He can make friends with anybody. He could make friends with the fucking Taliban.
The lines. That's what makes him cool too. Like,
he's very well dressed. He's a great guy. He would give you the shirt off of his back if you needed it.
I'm ready.
But also he came from a totally different life. He's lived a life where he had a bunch of illegal shit going on, and he was a hard motherfucker.
I was not.
And now he was a hard motherfucker.
Running them streets.
And now he is almost as white as I am.
I mean, I did graduate from a charter school.
He graduated from charter school. He has a very high credit score. He sells insurance. Mm-hmm. He knows so much about insurance. It's so fucking boring. His cute wife is pregnant.
Congrats.
Thank you.
He's so good with children. Whenever I get really mad, he helps me dissect my emotions. And he used to be a hard motherfucker.
He'll even prescribe you some medicine if you need.
Here we go.
So it's super cool. He's like, we like to call him, bread percent HR. And also he could be, security if needed.
So
he could throw some hands.
I definitely grew up in a rough place.
He's also extremely humble. Humble award of 20.
Okay, so that's something I've worked on. I used to be this loud. So when I first moved out here from New York, New Yorkers loud, Wow.
Southern New Yorkers, yes.
Yeah, so we'll let you know. Whatever it is we're thinking, we're from New York. You need to know that. You need to understand. So, all right. So when I first moved out here, I was like, man, that's really not like people are like not impressed by like me and who I am and how I am, me being from New York. Like, it's cool I'm from New York, but like why aren't they more impressed? Like, and people liked me. Like, I was a likable person, but I was this loudmouth kid, and I was obnoxious as hell. So I had to learn to humble up a little bit. And so I'm just like, okay, first of all, shut up and listen. I couldn't do that before. So I'm like, just shut your fucking mouth. Just shut up and listen. So I started working on that. And then realizing that I'm not hot shit. Like, I had to realize that too. And even though I kind of knew it, like I kind of wanted to portray that I was, I don't know why. I was a young kid. I was stupid. So kind of learned a lot. But also, so growing up where I grew up, I mean, you would think that was humbling enough. Sure. Because I was not a hard motherfucker. Yeah. I was like, I kind of got caught up in the middle of these things. I
don't believe that.
I got caught up in the middle of these things. These are things that I didn't want these things. I didn't go looking for them. I just found myself in the middle of them because my older brother, he was a troublemaker. He was getting involved in gang shit. He's locked up right now. He's been locked up multiple times. He'd call me in the middle of the night and say, hey, knowing I loved firearms, hey, I need you to hide something from me. I'm like, what? This would be like 2 a.m. And he'd say, just come outside. I'll show you. And he'll have like so, okay, really quick. The guns we shoot with are not the same guns that I saw on the streets growing up.
The gift from your mom.
So like something like that behind me, or like these things that like this Jaegerworks. Love Jaegerworks. Jaegerworks and Represent. We are lovers in the night. It's true. But like stuff like this, it is not the stuff I saw growing up on the streets.
No, you saw yeet cannons.
Yeah.
You see the high points out
and so them high peasies and all that stuff. And like, so my brother pulls out this like 22 rifle, and he's like, I need you to put this away somewhere for me. He's like, it's just like a BB gun, like no big deal. And he's like, I knew, because he knew I'd hide those from my mom. But they're BB guns. And so I'm like, nah, because especially knowing that New York wasn't it for me. Like, I wasn't gonna be staying there. I kind of always knew that. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up, like permanently, but I know it wasn't New York. I knew one day I'd want to own firearms. So I'm like, if I get caught up in this, I'm done. So no thanks. And of course, here, motherfucker, you little bitch. I'm like, yeah, I know. So I'd go back upstairs. There'd be other times where my older brother would be like, hey, I need your help. I need you to come and I need you to watch my back on something. I'm like, okay, what is it? Again, like 1 or 2 a.m. And so we'd go all over, walking all over town in the middle of the night. Mind you, I'm like still going to school. Dealing drugs.
Junior high.
Yeah, just dealing drugs and stuff like that. And he's like, I just need you to like stay on that corner over there. I'm going to meet up these guys at this corner. If there's any cops, anything like that, I need you to just, I don't know, really like whistle or say something or just whatever. He's like, just do this thing and then we'll just split up. And so we did like 4 or 5 of those all over this little town that we lived in. And then there would be times where there were times where I needed his help. And although he and I don't get along, we're not very close. One of my buddies, and this is like probably the most memorable thing, there was this little gang in our school. And I guess, so one of my buddies, his name is Denzel, 6'5" Jamaican. He could scrap. That boy can fight. And he'd gotten in a fight with a couple of those dudes who were in this little gang, right? So they were like, well, fuck, like, he beat our ass, he beat his ass. Let's just go jump him. Like, we know where he lives. Let's go jump him. So my buddy Denzel calls me. And he's like, hey, like, I'm in some shit. Like, I need some help. And the only person I knew who has been in shit like that was my older brother. Although I've been in my fair share of little scraps here and there, nothing crazy, little schoolyard shit. And I'm like, hey, I need a favor. I never asked him for anything. He and I did not get along. We still don't really get along. But he was like, okay, I'm listening. What's up? So tell him what's going on. No joke. He goes into our basement of this house. We lived so at this point, we actually lived in a nice house. Before we lived in a cockroach infested apartment. Poor as shit. Needed help from the church to get food and all that stuff. But at this point, we lived in a house. My brother goes downstairs and he sees this old table. I'm not even fucking kidding. I don't know if I've told you the story. He flips the fucking table over, rips off one of the legs. He's standing up, And he takes the table leg and he shoves it into his pocket and like rips through his pocket, and now it's in his pant leg.
What the?
Yeah. So he's
like he had done it before.
I'm sure he's nestled all kinds of things, all kinds of places.
Oh my
but
God.
Okay. Sit with that image. So he's in there. It's in there. He's all right. Let's go. So we're walking down the street, and no joke, the dudes who were about to go jump my buddy, he knew one of the guys, older dude. I don't think he was even in our school anymore. He pulls over because he recognizes my brother, and he's like, "Hey, you got to smoke?" And I'm like, "That's them. That's the guys." So he's like, "No." Well, once these guys drive away, I tell my brother, "Those are the guys." Well, I was also playing football. And so we're actually walking down the street. We see this group of dudes, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I know those guys." Like 5 other guys. I'm like, "Hey, well, come with us. We're about to go scrap. Come on." So they come with us. Show up to my buddy's house. There's probably there's 7 of us, and there's 3 inside of his house right now. Him, his brother, and his friend. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, thanks so much. Thanks for showing up." And then, the guys show up, and I'm like, "See, like my old brother, see, I told you those were the guys." So he pulls that table leg out of his pocket, out of his pant leg, runs over this van, and he's swinging this thing. And he's like, "Come on, motherfuckers, let's do this shit. Come on, let's go." And he's like swinging this shit around. And they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wa, whoa." And then, of course, seeing him and his big energy, then they see the rest of us. There's only 6 of them. There's like 8. There's, I don't know, more 10 of us. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, no. We just want to do this one deep. That's all. So just a one-on-one fight. So they end up doing that. My buddy ends up, breaking 2 of his knuckles in that fight. But that's kind of where I grew up. That's kind of who I grew up around. That's the kind of things I saw and the things I did, and being jumped by dudes I've never seen before because they had a problem with my older brother, or being followed around a mall by a bunch of Crips because, again, they didn't like my brother. I'm just like, I don't. So, smart choice was definitely getting out of New York.
He's definitely lucky to be alive right now.
Yeah, but you've seen him. Pictures, videos. Mm-hmm. He's a big dude, and he loves to fight. Okay. He's like 6'3".
So all of that competition was definitely warranted, but he could hold his own.
Yeah, he could definitely hold his own. He could back up his shit. Okay. All that. But so just kind of, that's kind of what I grew up around again. Yeah. But again, these are not things that I went out looking for. These are not things that I wanted or felt like. I didn't feel like I needed to run the streets. I was minding my own business, doing my own thing.
I own a pistol, man.
Yeah, but it's
a legal one.
So that's what's funny is, it's not always what you're doing and where you're not going and all that stuff. Sometimes trouble will just find you. Mm-hmm. So better to have it, not need it, right?
Exactly.
So,
nah, dude, like that's those are the experiences that you see. You would never know that looking at you now. Versus then, I don't know what you look like then. Or how you dressed, how you acted, how
probably. You know what? You could probably guess how I dressed back then.
Probably
growing up in New York around that stuff. Yeah, you could probably.
The Timbs.
Oh, I always had Timbs. That's a rite of passage. Come on, I still have Timbs.
Yeah, did you have
a white tee?
I've had many white tees. I've had
oversized, double XL.
Yes. I was probably, and back then I was probably like 150 pounds at like 5'9". And like when I was like a freshman, I'm 6'1" now, like 210. But yeah, and I was wearing double XL. I was wearing pants. I probably should have been wearing like a 28, and I was wearing like 36.
Yeah.
Long.
Random question: is Frank short for something?
Frank is just Frank.
Is Frank? Okay. Mm-hmm. I was really hoping it was like
Francisco.
Like have you seen Oliver and Company?
Not for a minute.
But that's that part where the bulldog is like, "It's not Frank. It's not Frankie. It's Francis."
So I have a grandpa named Francis, of course. Okay, okay. So I have a grandpa named Francisco. His oldest son is named Frank. I'm named after my uncle because he never had any boys. So just Frank.
That's cool, dude. Well, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't have an upbringing like that, but it was based on where I lived. I rub shoulders with kids that didn't have that lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's tough. And, I got to say I'm very fortunate. I had a lot of people in my life who saw what kind of a kid I was. Yeah. Although I was kind of crazy and hyper and being raised by a single mother, who was having a really tough time with us. They saw that I had a good heart. I wanted to not be in trouble. Not, I kind of wanted something better. I didn't, know how to do that for myself. So I was very fortunate to have people who were willing to help me escape that. Right. And so, not a lot of people have that. I mean, a lot of my friends that I grew up around who still live in New York, they didn't have that. They're doing, most of them are doing really well. Mm-hmm. They're figuring it out and they're doing great things. My buddy Denzel, he and I still keep in touch. He's doing amazing things right now, but a lot of them didn't have. I mean, I don't know where I really would have ended up had I not had a lot of people in my life who were willing to back me up. So,
well, glad you're here, man.
Yeah, no, me too.
Glad you're here.
Yeah,
you're glad he's here too.
I am. I was just so caught up in the story.
Yeah, I know that was good.
There's a lot of crazy stories. I mean,
that means we'll just have to have you on again.
Latin King showing up to our house, Crips showing up to our house in the middle of the night, and my brother was not part of either of those gangs. Mm-hmm. So
he was just competition.
It was all beef, right? Yeah, it was
territory,
beef,
right?
Yeah, and crazy stuff that you just get caught up in, and I remember I was just scared all the fucking time. I was always scared. Like, I don't even know, like, what am I gonna come home to? Like, if I get off the bus from school, like, there could be somebody waiting for me. Like, I mean, I'd be walking home from my grandma's house, and I'd get jumped. By people I don't even know, but it's just because of my older brother.
You're associated.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you were worried for your mom too.
Yes. So
especially.
So that Latin King thing. So we've had. So my sister was dating this guy who's Latin King, who's also her baby daddy. Okay. And he showed up. I was inside doing my homework, like trying to get some good grades. And so I remember my sister's on the front porch of our house. She's yelling at somebody, and I'm like, what is going on? So I walk out there. I don't know if they were already talking about my older brother. They thought, but I go out there and they're like, oh, is that him? Is that him? I'll fuck him up right now. Look at that little bitch. I'm like, what in the hell did I just walk into?
Yeah, little bitch.
Look at that little bitch. And I'm like, what the who are you? I recognized one of them, but I was like, who are these other two dudes? And I'm just like, what the hell? I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. So, look at this fucking nerd. Get his Timbs.
Yeah, rip his Timbs off. So, like, I mean, we're there, but they were talking about my older brother, the much more intimidating, not so friendly, not as handsome one. But but they thought I was him, and I come out. No. I come out, and I'm like 160 pounds. They're like, what the fuck? Him? And then, of course, this other the guy who knew the family, my sister's ex, he's like, no, that's not him. Leave him alone. He's like, no, I'll still fuck him up. So I'm like, whatever, Crystal, come on. My sister's name is Crystal. I was like, let's get inside. We go inside. My sister calls my older brother. My brother shows up. I don't know how. I mean, the dude was never around. He wasn't living with us at this point. But when things like this happened, he was just there all of a sudden. I don't know where he was coming from, but he shows up, and then there's like 16 Bloods in our house, and I'm like, oh my nice. God, what the fuck? So my brother's calling this guy, and I guess they made a threat to show up to my mom's office. My mom was an accountant. She was kind of establishing her own accounting firm. Mm-hmm. We're living in this, this house, kind of making it. Finally got a piece of the pie type thing, and so they, we're gonna show up to your mom's office. We're gonna do all this shit. So. Everybody's making phone calls, trying to get people to go to my mom's office, trying to get people to go to this guy's house, trying to get people to our house, all this crazy shit. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to eat a McChicken sandwich while I'm doing my homework. Just trying to do my homework, and I'm just like, this is so stressful. My brother, one of my brother's friends, one of the Bloods that was at our house, he like walks over, he's like, hey, you need to hold on to this. He gives me a fucking baseball bat. I'm like, I can't believe this is my fucking life. It's crazy shit like that. We had like Crips show up in the middle of the night. I was actually out here visiting. Hadn't moved out here yet when this happened, but later on that night, my brother shot up somebody's house because they threatened to shoot up our house first. So he's like, well, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to go do it. Shot up this dude's house.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah. So again, that wasn't me.
No, or was nobody. Maybe he's been talking about himself this whole time.
No. I was never that guy.
Could be.
I was never that dude.
And the humble one is his brother.
Yeah, he got locked up for things I did. Conspiracy.
Ooh. Damn.
No.
Plot twist.
He's too comfortable in prison to have not done these things.
3 hots in a cot.
Yeah.
3 hots.
I'm sure he's got a girlfriend in there.
She probably got a fat ass too.
I'm sure he does.
I just think of the movie Blood In, Blood Out when you say that. And I'm like,
or like The Longest Yard.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But no, so lots of crazy things. I saw a lot of crazy things, and I definitely, I didn't want that. I mean, I definitely, with me, you know, my wife being pregnant, I'm having a kid. I don't want that around my kid. Now, of course, you can't control everything that goes on in your life.
Course.
If it was up to my mom, I would have never seen any of that stuff. But I don't want those things, so I do what I can to, you know, keep it out of my life. Of course. I will say there's a lot that I learned from being in those things, and there's certain things I know how to handle, and there's certain things that, and listen to me over here, like, yeah, I'll just handle it. No, it's not like that, but it's more just like, I mean, there's, I guess, a reason why we should have firearms, you know, like there is evil out there. There are bad guys out there who want to take what you have just because they feel like they can.
Mm-hmm. They don't care about you.
Oh, they don't care.
They care about your stuff.
Yeah.
Just like that old, like,
or getting whatever they want, whatever it is.
Just like that quote, like, are you gonna, like, the counter argument from anti-gun people say, oh, well, you care about your stuff more than their life? Hell yeah, I do.
So yeah,
they care about my stuff more than they care about their lives. That's for sure.
So Chris and I are actually just talking about this.
Yeah.
On our way back from the range day. So my wife and I were kind of getting into it when this whole BLM thing happened and people were burning down shops. And I'm like, you know, I see this and I'm like, yeah, more victims are being created. I think, you know, being someone of color, I think, yeah, we do have a reason to be angry. However, that anger needs to be directed at the right people.
Right.
And I don't think it's all white people. No, like that's not, no. Nope. It needs to be directed to the people who have been keeping us down and all this shit. Because, I mean, yeah, racism is still a thing. It is. And I know I've been lucky enough to not really experience it from what I can remember, you know. But I think, yeah, if you're going to be angry, make sure you're angry at the right people. So, I mean, go to the Capitol building. Be angry. Yeah. Don't go to these, you know, mom and pop shops. People are trying to make a living, trying to make it just like everybody else. Don't take what they have. Like, you know what I mean? That's my opinion. But my wife and I were talking about it, and she was just like, you know, like, I don't understand why you're getting so angry. And I guess I'd never told her some of the things that I had to deal with growing up, you know, like being so poor that the church had to give us, you know, help us with food. And then I had, if anybody from New York watches this, they'll know, when your family, you know, was poor and you went to school and you did lunch, a lot of kids will pay for their lunch. But if you know, came from a family that couldn't, you'd get a little blue card, little meal card. And I had that. But it was kind of embarrassing to like pull that out in front of people in front of my friends.
So everybody had their Wonder Bread sandwiches.
Yeah. And so I was there, man. And so like, you know, I'd have to pull it out, show the lunch lady, and if I forgot it, I wasn't eating. Yep. And so I'm like, you know, like the reason I get so angry is because they're making more victims, stuff like that. But you know, they're talking about coming and taking what we have. Like, I'm not going back to that. I'm sorry, but I was there, and I'm not letting anybody take it again. And so I know, kind of extreme, but it was very hard, and a lot of people haven't seen that. And I'm sure, and there are people who've been way worse circumstances than I have. Let me make that very clear. I didn't have it the worst, you know, but it was enough for me to say, no, not again.
You're a chain breaker.
Yeah.
You wanted to break the mold.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good.
I just want something better.
That's kind of how. Yeah, we have very similar upbringings. Not quite the same, but enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you're right. With people keep themselves down. Like when there's systemic racism. Yeah, probably somewhere, you know, in some form or another. But it really all comes down to like, you don't have to keep yourself on food stamps for your whole life. You know, you don't have to keep yourself uneducated your whole life. But I mean, there are ways where, you know, it's kind of complex where neighborhoods are kept down because they're just the status quo. They want to do the same thing their brother's doing or their sister's doing, and
they just don't know anything.
They don't know anything different. Even though they go to a public school where they're rubbing shoulders, they still stick with their little groups and their cliques. Right. And it's like-minded individuals.
And it's probably something, you know, not to get too far into it, and you know, it could get kind of controversial and stuff like that. Whatever. But yeah, you can make it out of it. You can. It sure as hell helps to have people who help you. Like me, like I had people help me with so much. it's not even funny, and it's a blessing, you know. And so I mean, it's just sad to see.
Yeah.
And you know, you help where you can, and you do what you can for people, but yeah, it's definitely not a perfect system.
No.
You know, so. But enough about me.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys have like a joke? Because that was like we were like pretty serious.
So, well, why don't we talk about what Chris's tattoos mean?
Yeah,
he loves the story behind it. Go ahead, tell him.
There's no meaning behind any of it.
No, I've been actually eyeing them this whole time, and I see them in your videos, and I
they're sweet.
Tell me about your two favorite, top three favorite. Yeah, given they're all on your body, you love them all, but.
How could you do this to me? I actually don't.
We were going to get there anyway.
I don't like talking about my tattoos, man. This is my mom and dad's initials. That's definitely one of my favorites. This is the moth from Silence of the Lambs. Big horror film
I
fan.
recognize that.
This is a candle being burnt on both ends.
Didn't you just get one recently?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
right
yeah.
Here. Yeah, this is fresh.
Well, both of those right there.
Yeah.
They're all, I mean, a lot of them. Everything's going to be relatively new.
I'm going to get tattoos that look exactly like his in the exact same spot.
You should. That'd be really cool.
I just love them.
Yeah, do it.
But anyways, I've got like a spooky ghost, spooky skull. This is from the Shining. This is a hotel key
with the carpet pattern on it.
With the carpet pattern.
It's dope.
Yeah, so I like spooky stuff. I like horror movies. This is a set of praying hands with a dagger, just to kind of demonstrate like the irony behind religion and
the violence that it brings and stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, I don't love to talk about them and their meaning. Most of the people I just say like they don't have any meaning. None of them have any meaning, and they're just like, oh.
And I was just doing that to like lighten it up a little bit. We got kind of heavy there for a sec.
Yeah,
and
I know, and I appreciate it though. I just didn't know how to segue because I'm like, you had me thinking there for a minute, and I was like, oh.
Now what?
I need.
Damn, Frank, you're scaring the locals again.
Damn it. Are you gonna get a bread %?
I've thought about getting just the singular
if he
loaf.
gets one, then we all gotta fucking go.
But you gotta get it like right on your hip bone.
You
or
fucking
like
won't.
Tramp stamp.
I'll have to shave my Wookiee bush and put it on my lower back.
Chest pubes to
That
your
bitch
ball
is
throw.
thick back there. Let me tell you.
I'll do it if Frank does it, but I bet your ass he won't.
Do you think Alex would?
I don't know if Alex would. Josh already has a slice of bread.
I know he's got a little piece of toast.
Well, here's the thing. Who else would? Who else would get it?
Honestly, I don't really care, but I probably will. I've actually thought about it. Yeah, just a little piece of bread. The latest design that's just a singular loaf. I'll probably do that.
I like that a lot.
I think that's probably my favorite. You're talking about like
just the.
Oh wait, I don't have it on this one.
I'll post it up in the video.
Yeah,
just the single loaf, just like one of these, basically.
Yep.
So right there,
little
loaf. Yeah, just as a little filler somewhere in there, but
right there
could be. We'll
like
see.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, dude, this is probably by far the longest episode I've done, which is great.
Hopefully people enjoy it. I mean,
actually, my listenership is actually very dedicated.
Oh,
like
good.
I think I get 75% listen rate.
So
I'm just saying.
They'll listen to it even if they fucking hate it.
Yeah, they will.
But I hope they like it.
You know,
hope they like it. You know,
I get a lot of people messaging me saying, or a handful, I wouldn't say a lot, messaging me saying, "Hey, I didn't agree with what you were saying, but I liked your guests. You know, I like, you know, and that's what I'm aiming for."
And I mean, and that's the thing is like, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be things that people will disagree with. I mean, with anything. I mean, even with bread %, there's people who are like, you know, that drill, and it just encourages people to holster too quickly. And you're like,
oh yeah, there's that kid who did that.
I mean, if you don't have the skill to draw, you know, whatever, like you should be training your speed, whatever. Anyway, but. We didn't want. I mean, I definitely didn't want to get too controversial with anything and stuff like that.
And even if we did,
hopefully
it's
you
all
like
good.
it at home.
If we did
listen,
we did get controversial, it's not a huge deal because we've talked about semi-controversial things before here. So
yeah,
it's not a huge deal.
It's okay to offend people.
A little bit.
Oh no, yeah. As long as you're not seeking to offend people, just get offended. Hey, it happens.
Yeah, if they get offended, just you stating your opinion.
Yeah,
that's their problem.
What it is. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah. So, is there anything before we end that you guys want to plug again? You want to? I want to give you another chance to like list everybody in bread %. Who was it? 8 people? 7 people?
Yeah. So you've got myself, Robot Snakes. You've got Frank, Dimple Primer. You've got Josh at Josh Buckner. You've got Brady at Dark Dilemmas Arts. And you've got Alex at Offhand Dominant.
See Connor.
We got Connor, El Gringo Bandito.
Which is probably the best Instagram handle there is.
It's pretty good.
I love that.
Gringo Bandito, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it.
Yeah, solid dudes. I don't think I left anybody out. That's like a huge,
Lance,
huge issue.
who's
for
not
me.
on Instagram.
Yeah, Lance is always deleting his Instagram
Or having it deleted.
To take a sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
Yeah.
The Patriot Bentley one did get deleted by Instagram.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he just left it dormant for long enough that they just deleted it.
Was it a big account?
Yeah, it was pretty big. He
Yeah.
had like 5,000 followers or something.
Okay.
What?
Did he have 5,000 followers?
He had a fucking shit ton of followers because everybody was. The reason that he was wanting to get away from it is because everybody was like acting like he was customer service.
Oh yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
hey, do you have this in stock? Like, what's up with my
Yeah.
Form 4? Like, so he told me, he's like, it's so annoying, dude. And I was like, oh,
Well, it's no wonder it got disabled because if he was like talking about that in the comments and things, like
not even just
know.
that, but he was like, I need a break from this. He just steps away.
Yeah, he just
When
logged
stepped away long
out.
enough. Yeah.
And
And then-
deleted it.
Also, for the thing I screwed up earlier, Eric Andre. The Eric Andre
what the
clips we put.
fuck?
Dude, I'm so bad with names, and if
You don't
ever there's a
fucking know
camera
Eric
around with
Andre?
a newer person around, I'm gonna screw something up.
yeah.
I
love
will.
Eric
I
Andre
don't. I
so
don't know. I
much.
wish I could figure.
You
I
were
know,
nervous at
Eric.
the beginning. I was too, but that's because I was out of breath from setting all this up. But
It's
I was
taxing.
nervous. I was nervous.
So Eric Andre.
Yeah, I missed
Eric
things up.
Andre snippets at the end of our videos.
Yes.
Brings the humor to the page for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not really used to being in front of cameras.
Which is
typically
interesting.
am behind
Yeah.
them filming.
Same.
So
Well, cool guys. Well, thanks again for being on.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Yeah.
have you on again. You are episode number 10, by the way.
Ooh.
So
sick. So we're like a 10 out of 10.
yeah, 10 out of 10.
Damn.
It only goes up from there.
It's no flattering.
But
Can
like
we
I
be
said,
69
yes.
when you get there?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
On the record?
I'll make it happen.
Okay.
You just got to remind
You
me.
heard it.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, folks.
We'll bring Alex.
Yep. Actually, I'll have more microphones by then.
How strong for you.
Alex will drink 10 raw eggs.
I think we should do it on camera one day. Him and I.
Why not?
I'll do it with him.
Why not?
You got to do it too, please. Please.
I've got tummy issues.
He does. He does. He's got a very tender stomach.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Pass.
I'll
Give you-
do
give you a
it.
pass.
I'll do it. My doctor's note from Chris.
Yeah. For somebody who grew up being such a hard ass, he can't drink a couple of fucking eggs.
It's not my fault. I'm lactose intolerant. Okay,
We'll do vegan eggs. How about that?
Just tolerate the lactose and do it.
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no lactose in eggs. I know that. But anyway, you know what? Hey, enjoy the 2-hour video.
Is it 2 hours?
It's
Yeah,
an
we're
hour
at-
and
we're at
54
almost
minutes.
2 hours.
Oh my god.
Enjoy
I
it.
was
Enjoy-
worried that we weren't going to be interesting enough for you to go on this long.
You know,
But Frank went
lot of
into
people think that.
his
I went into a
upbringing.
dark place.
it was enlightening though.
I was just listening to you and losing touch with my own reality.
Here we go.
I was living your reality. I was scared of rival gang members.
Crips in my house.
I
Bloods in
was
my house.
Yeah.
worried
Yeah.
that I wasn't going to get my homework done on time.
Holding
Could you
a baseball
imagine?
bat.
I was scared of police.
And I still managed to
I-
graduate from a charter school for crying out loud. Oh wait, let me talk about that real quick. Okay, so I didn't graduate from a charter school until I didn't
have
go.
a
I didn't.
photo of him. I have a photo of him from the yearbook.
Okay.
He looks
So-
like a, he
Can you
looks
send
like
it
a
to me?
fucking nerd. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Shit, I'll send you
seriously.
a better one.
Send me all
That's
of the
the dude-
pictures so I can
that's-
put them on this video.
That's the hard dude who's running them
That's
streets out
that's
in
the
New
hard
York.
dude that went out and they were like, "Look at that little bitch, bring your little stupid ass on."
So when I moved out here, I was living with a family that I knew from New York who had moved out here the year prior. Their kids were going to this school, the Mazer Academy in Linden, and they're like, well, if you're living with us, you're going to be going there too. So my senior year of high school, I was living with these people, and I went to the Mazer Academy wearing a uniform every day. And before that, public school,
What was
but-
your PS? Did you have a PS?
No.
Dang it. Okay. Never mind. Sorry.
Not in ours.
Continue.
North Rockland High School is where I was going before that. And
What was your GPA?
probably in the negatives. I was a little dummy. dumb little bitch.
Negative 4.0.
Yeah. I was trying. It's all this gang related shit kept me from doing my homework. What did you expect?
I know it sounds taxing. You couldn't fucking get your homework done.
It was. But hey, you know what? Let's wrap this up.
Anyway,
because we'll go on.
Yes, like I said, episode 69.
Done.
Maybe even sooner than that. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah,
but if we have more hot shit,
be sure to check these guys out on breadpercent.com, at breadpercent on Instagram.
Yeah, it's bread_%.
Oh,
and
somebody took it.
And it's very difficult to find if you don't type it in verbatim.
Okay, well, I'll put it in the description below. That way you can just copy and paste it.
There you go.
Mark Zuckerberg is trying to keep us down. Fuck
Daddy Zuck.
Fucker.
Yeah. He's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised I haven't been taken down yet. I've been pretty close.
My Robot Snakes account has been told that I get told that it's going to get deleted all the fucking
I've never
time.
once been told.
Me neither.
Which
It
is
happened
so
today.
surprising.
Me neither.
Probably because, I mean, probably reparations.
The fuck out of here. It happened today. I uploaded that video of Frank cleaning up the trash.
Yeah.
Which that video took forever to edit because I made every single subtitle, every individual
I was going to
subtitle.
ask you about that.
It took forever. But I was like, this is going to pay off
What's
big.
happening?
And it has, I guess.
This is going to pay off big, and people love it. And then in the video, the dude says, like later on in the video, that guy, I think his name is Big Jaw, Bigggjah, super cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
Later in the video, he says, I won't hit a bitch, but I'll kidnap they ass. I commented that before you, Connor. I said that before you, and guess what? It got deleted. And Instagram said your account may be deleted for like the fucking 10th time.
And then Connor's Instagram handles in Spanish, so they were like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, so he comments the same thing.
We'll cancel Instagram.
And I pinned the comment on Bread Percent because I was like, "That's the best comment." I wanted the best comment, but Connor got it.
A little bias.
It's okay.
He's running both pages, but
Whatever.
Sometimes you have to play both sides so that you always come out
double
on top.
down.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Wise words.
you heard it here first.
Yeah. We'll drop his phone number later, ladies. Wait, you're married.
He's married.
Doesn't matter. We'll
He's
still
married.
we'll still drop it.
I am married. Stay the fuck away from me, please. I meet enough dudes as it is.
It's true. He's spoken for, dudes.
Anyway, all right, guys. So yeah, check these guys out, and yeah, be sure to check us out on all these other platforms, YouTube, all that jazz. But we will see you in the next one.